You noble diggers, all stand up now.
Hello my friends, and welcome to my channel. Today we will be talking about what is the consolation of philosophy, or what is the point to any of this. A friend of mine accused me of being a white knight, which is one of my favorite insults. Such a funny insult, right? Because of the racialized hierarchy of the world, any person who is within the white domain, who is of the white race, who attempts to do good, risks being called a white knight, right? Which means that they are not helping enough. I don't even understand the insult, right? That they aspire to do good. I have contempt for it, right?
You're who you choose to be.
There's a star.
I really just don't even get it. Call me the white knight if that's what you need, right? But I don't mind white knighting, right? I one time was at a party and I saw a man slap his girlfriend, and when I went over and kicked the hell out of him, nobody called me a white knight then, right? And so I hope nobody calls me a white knight now, right? But I get it, actually. I'm being a little facetious. It's performative, right? This probably won't do anything, this project, right? But I have to act. So, and also I have to act because I don't really have free will, right? I don't believe in free will. I believe that if you believe in free will, you lack the imagination, right? To see all the variables, all the stacking confluences and influences that over-determine your life, right? It's a chemical equation. It's a physics equation. So, like Schopenhauer says, a man can do as he will, but he cannot will as he wills, right? And my will, it's bound. It's like on a leash by long dead philosophers. It's like that scene from the Avatar where he looks back at all the ancestors, right?
After the war, the Nazis vanished without a trace, but battalions of fascists still dream of a master race. The history books, they tell of their defeat in 45, but they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. The world is riddled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride.
They've possessed me, right? They determine my thoughts. Nietzsche talks about speaking from mountaintop to mountaintop, right? And that's how I feel. I feel like I'm being shouted at from the past, right? And I cannot be mocked by someone like John Brown, right? Who didn't have an ounce of the education that I have, right? Or someone like Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who, despite having the education I have, I hope I have more spine than he does, right? I hope I don't wait till 45 for the Nazis to hang me before I act, right? And those are not influences. Those aren't philosophers. I'm bound by the canon, right? The canon is something that we jokingly refer to in philosophy because philosophy is actually just a conversation about metagaming, right? The metagame of life. And it means, how do you interact with reality, right? There's the famous painting of Plato and Aristotle, right? Aristotle points to the earth and Plato points to the forms, right? And to break it down even simpler, right? The main debate of all metagamers throughout history is the world determined by thought or is the world determined by stuff, right? And it's been shown decisively in the canon that stuff predominates, right? That stuff is the essence of the universe and not thought, right? So to get back to the idea of the canon, right? These philosophers have their claws deeper than me, than any homily or any parable, even the Sermon on the Mount, which is wondrous, right? It is one of the best pieces of writing ever, right? But what is it compared to Jacques Derrida's Voix et Phenom, right? In Voix et Phenom, I get a definitive answer about what is the nature of the soul and how it perceives time, right? Jesus can't answer that. And so that's why we call it the canon, right? It means as much as the Old and New Testament, the newest testament, right? And most importantly, it doesn't matter if these men existed for the canon to matter, right? Socrates doesn't have to exist for the phrase "the wise know only that they do not know" to matter, right? And then I wanted to close this a bit exploring influences a little even deeper, right? Because there's been a rise in anti-Semitism, right? And that's what I'm combating mostly, right? It's the main impetus. It's these Nazi Confederates. I find anti-Semitism or anti-Jewish hatred just silly, right? Just insipid, because it relies on a thought that there's this nefarious influence at work in the world, right? This hidden influence, this unknown influence, right? And I say to you that all the world is a giant necropolis devoted to monumentalizing the best lies, the best perfidy, right? The best scams.
You figure it's all a scam, huh? All them folks?
Mm-hmm.
They just wrong.
Oh, yeah. Been that way since one monkey looked at the sun and told the other monkey, he said, for you to give me your fucking share.
So to talk about influence, I'm going to talk about two characters, and then I'm going to talk about a different character in more depth, right? The first two are Achilles and Jesus, right? What do Achilles and Jesus' story have in common, right? We have reached a scale of perfidy, a size of social organization, where the lies have developed into something higher, into something even more nefarious, even more perfidious, right? You look at Zarathustra or something like that, and it's all about the light versus the darkness, and it encourages you to do good, right? But the point of Achilles and Jesus is rebellion, right? Is making you the authority, right? Achilles disobeys Agamemnon time and time again, right? Because it was for his personal honor. And no one wants to be Agamemnon, they want to be Achilles, right? A society that aspires all of its men to be Achilles will be more combat effective than those around it, right? And what does this have to do with Jesus? It's the same thing, right? If all men in a society numbered in the millions start to see other men as their brothers, right? And it is their responsibility to be gentle and kind to everybody, social organization becomes much more powerful, right? Warfare becomes an asset of an anthill instead of a tribe, right? It becomes orders of magnitude greater. That's what Jesus is. He's a tool of war, right? And so finally, I'm going to talk about the Bhagavad Gita, and I'm just going to leave you with the scam that was run by the ancient Hindus, right? And I want you to listen to the words, and I want you to think, why would they say that? And am I able to resist these words at all, right? So I am bound by these philosophers to seek the truth, right? And to speak to you people because of this crisis incoming. I feel honor bound to, right? But honor is not something you control. I have to do this. I'm just bound by it. Bhagavad Gita 1.28. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, I am looking at my relatives and friends gathered here to wage the war." 1.29. Looking at them, my limbs are weakening, my face is crumpling, my body is trembling. 1.30. My bow is slipping from my hands, my skin is burning, I am unable to even stand, and my mind is blurred with delusion. 1.31. O Keshava, I am seeing many bad omens. I do not see anything good coming out of killing my own people. 1.32. O Krishna, I do not aspire for victory, kingdom, or happiness. O Govinda, what use is this kingdom, luxuries, or even living? 2.2. The Lord said, "O Arjuna, what caused this delusion for you to give up your duties at the time of crisis? This is not expected of wise men. It does not lead to glory or heavens, and it only brings disrepute." 2.13. Just as one experiences childhood, youth, and old age, one similarly experiences attainment of another body, so the wise ones do not grieve over the loss of the physical body. 2.33. In case you decide to relinquish your responsibility to fight for a just cause, you will be guilty of abdicating a duty. You will suffer loss of reputation here and accrue sins. 2.34. Everyone will talk about your loss of reputation, and for a worthy person, loss of reputation is more dreadful than death.
Some philosophers say courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage you can't practice any other virtue consistently. Can't be consistently fair, or kind, or true, or honest, or generous. None of those things. You can be anything erratically, but to be it consistently, you have to have courage.
For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
Hello, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you. This channel has one mission: to prevent civilizational collapse associated with climate change, to prevent 100 million refugees by 2035, to stop 7 billion from starving to death by 2075. And we will do this through one main vehicle. We mean to unite the Anglosphere. We will do this by convincing the Commonwealth of His Majesty King Charles III to apply for statehood as one. And then with this new power, we will be able to negotiate in good faith with the rest of the world on how to tackle this crisis. Thank you and enjoy.
We need re-education camps, bro. We might need re-education. I'm not so sure a gulag was a bad idea, come to think of it.